All right, what's up, everyone? We have another recap today for CCCC. This was another sort of multi-day continuation trade. I was calling out this pre-market as a potential opportunity, but I did put on my warning, my warning lights for everyone out there who was tuning in for the pre-market pump. The pre-market pump is a live stream that we do every single day, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I was putting out some warning notices about CCCC that potentially could make a move, but it was definitely going to be choppy, probably just because it's such a large float, similar to yesterday. And that's kind of what we got. We got opportunity on it, but just like yesterday, it was very, very choppy. Breakouts are terrible on it. Definitely, taking losses near the highs definitely would not be the best way to trade, like near the highs, breakouts. Let me pull out my arrows here. So false breakout there. Like we just had false breakouts all day long. Here, there. Where here. Yeah, false breakouts pretty much all day long. A lot to get caught in. Very, very risky at the highs. But if you could be on the dips, if you could time those dips and be a little bit patient, wait for the move to resolve, you could have definitely made out all right. And today I did make out pretty decent on something like this. And this was really trading like a large cap stock because of the large float. That was the kind of vibe that I was getting. So I already knew at the highs, I'm not taking any breakout trades. Today I took 0 breakout trades. I mainly focused on the dips. I was able to walk away with $187 in my pocket. So pretty decent considering we didn't get a traditional momentum stock. Yeah, the stock did have momentum, but not really. It's not really any of that low float momentum, gap and go type of trade. This just moved more like a large cap stock. And definitely very happy with my performance, being patient on the dips, and not falling for FOMO if I did miss out on any breakouts, or just FOMO in at the highs, because that's how you probably would have gotten red if you FOMO'd in at any of these highs. And right out of the gates, we ripped right up, but we pulled back and we actually went red on the day for a brief second. Red, like the stock went red on the day for the brief second since the open, and then it ripped right back up. This is the kind of pattern that you'd see on large cap stocks, which is interesting. And then we had like a nice flag, continued higher, and then made another larger time frame flag here. Maybe on like the 15-minute or the 30-minute. Oh, I don't have my trend lines, so let me change this back to the trend lines. I can just get this out of the way there. So another larger sort of flag here. Breaking out, but it's such a slow breakout, like we didn't rip straight up to the highs, pull back and keep going like this. That's not this type of stock. This type of stock is not going to move like that. So that's something you have to keep in mind. So we had a really extended, long moving breakout, and you had to be very patient. If you were going to trade this like a momentum stock, you had to have been patient. And I'm talking like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20-minute hold times if you're going to do the classic bull flag breakout. Let's say if you do that classic bull flag breakout, which would be, let's say here at 404. Let's say you get in at 404. You're not seeing the high day break for 13 minutes. 13-minute hold time from the break of the downward trend, bucking the trend, continuing its upside move. You had to hold that for 13 minutes to see the high day test. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about stocks with larger floats, is that you gotta adjust your strategy. You either gotta adopt maybe a longer hold time, or you have to do what I did, which is really just focusing on the dips, scalping the dips, taking your 1, 2, 3 cents, 4 cent profit, and doing it again, and just being patient for the dips. Because we did get a lot of opportunity on the dips. Here, this was a little bit risky, because now you're going from green to red on the day. So this is definitely a little risky buying this dip. But, you know, after we broke through the high, we had a nice dip down to 50 or 47 and reclaimed all the way back up within the next minute candle up to 378. That's definitely a very nice scalp, which I did take some of these scalps. And then also, you know, every single dip, you know, down into this bull flag, you know, had bottoming tails, which is very nice. You had another dip here right after the break of 4, pulling back to 388. So we're on a fun side trend. So, you know, buying that dip, you know, risking maybe 380, which is sort of this flat top, would have been a nice trade there. So getting in at like 380 to 388 to 390, and then maybe risking a 382 or 381. You know, they could have got definitely a nice trade there. You had another flash dip down to the 90 MA here. This could have been a nice opportunity. You had another dip here down in this area, holding previous pre-market support. This, I was actually sizing in, but it was just taking so long that I actually was selling for small profit. Where was this? Where was this drawn at? Let me, just a moment. I think it was maybe on a larger time frame. What did I draw? Oh, okay, so after the open, we broke through 4. Now is a clear resistance point, but now resistance is becoming support. And as you can see, it coincided perfectly with this dip. Perfectly. We dipped down, we kissed this trend line. We actually broke below it, this price level of $4, or a little bit under $4, which was a previous resistance point on the daily chart. That's why it's important to analyze your daily charts and draw your levels, because you're going to find that the intraday price action is going to interact well with the daily charts. So that coincided perfectly with this area here. You had that resistance there, as we're seeing. Once we broke out, now it's potential support. So we hit support there, we kept going, and we came back and kissed support again, reclaimed that level. That would have been a great dip. And I was sizing in quite nicely here, but it was just taking a little bit too long, and I actually sold for like a small gain before that 10 cent. I could have had like a 10-cent move there. We kept fading back to the low, and this is really where I just kind of walked away. Once we broke below the 390 level, again, I was like, all right, it's really starting on a heavy downtrend now, but we're still above the VWAP. We're getting to 11 o'clock, and at that point, usually I start to fade my risk, especially since we didn't have anything really too hot today. So I pretty much walked away from there. I walked away, made some breakfast, went to the gym, and then came back and started to study. And then this did end up going all the way up to $6, which is very nice. Very nice. Another strong green day in CCCC. Do I think it's going to continue from here? It might. It might. Stocks like this with the larger float, they definitely can go for a couple of days, just kind of grinding higher inch by inch over a course of a few days before it starts to go backside. We can take a look at the daily. When's the next levels? So I guess the next level will be all the way up here at $8. So if we can get up to $8, that's it's potential. It's very rare though that we get 3 consistent green days though on something like this. It just made a really big move from $1 up to $6. Statistically, it's not going to have another clean green day or another straight green day as we did the past 2 days. We might have a little bit of consolidation before seeing another green day if the stock does hold up. That's if it does hold up. We don't want it to give back all the way back down to like sub $3 or really sub $3.50. Like, you don't want it to come down here, because then it starts becoming a backside sort of move, giving back all of its gains. So that was pretty much it on CCCC. NXTP, this one I traded for the dip and rip out of the halt, and this one did not go very well. We halted up here. saw it on the scanner after it was halted. We opened up, we had a quick dip and a rip. I made some decent profits there, but then it flushed back down to 55, bought here at 55, and then took my loss at like 48. So like a 7-cent loss. So I pretty much just gave back what I made. I really thought it was going to hold up and then maybe continue higher, but we didn't get that. But I was able to manage my risk. So break even on that, 2 trades, one step forward, one step back. That's fine though, at least I'm managing my risk, and I'm not FOMOing in on something like that or being frustrated. It is what it is. AUVI, I thought this one pre-market would be potential. This one has history of making big moves, but I took a trade here looking for a continuation up through 3, and we ended up failing, and I cut it for break even or for tiny loss. RSLS, I had a small trade RSLS through the high pre-market here. The breakout, 42 cents up to 44 cents. The range is real tight. Even though I traded a couple thousand shares, I only made like $5-6 on it. We did end up having a decent move though, but these penny stocks don't like to trade sub-dollar stocks too much, just because I churned so many shares. The range is super tight, and I end up spending like $30-40 in ECN fees on Thinkorswim because I had to take like a 5,000 share position for every scalp. I'm just racking up ECN fees, which, on 5,000 shares on something like this, maybe I'm paying like 20 to 30 cents a trade, and if you trade, I take 100 trades, so that's 20 or 30 bucks right there, since I trade a lot. So I have more of a scalping sort of strategy. But yeah, today, 187, not too shabby. I'll take it. Did we have the best of the day? The best stock of the day, probably CCCC, but like I said, it wasn't our picture perfect kind of go-to momentum stock. So you did have to sort of adapt your strategy and try to just come out ahead and then maybe walk. That's sort of what I did. I did trade 1,000 shares on this, so a decent position sizing. I consistently kept it up at 1,000 shares, maybe 500 minimum. And, I thought that was pretty decent share size for something like this. Not anything that, like, I was really having a heart attack. Like, my heart was beating so fast and I was getting, like, the anxiety sweats, which, definitely does say that I did not really push it to my hardest or push past my comfort zone today, which is something I have to keep in mind because, my next goals in trading is to push my comfort zone. I need to every single day have a trade where I'm sweating bullets. Today I did not have that trade. Today I did not have that trade where I was sweating bullets. So even though I was green today, I can't say that I showed up in my full capacity. And that does feel kind of shitty. It does feel kind of shitty. So I'm going to keep that in mind for tomorrow, make a mental note. And tomorrow I'm going to make sure that I take one trade that I am sweating bullets, feeling the pain, feeling the suffering, feeling the anxiety, the fear of being in a decently big trade. So, that's how I know that I'm pushing my comfort zone. Today, didn't really do that. So tomorrow, I'm happy to be green, but, tomorrow, I'm going to come back and make sure that I have that one sweaty trade. So I hope you guys enjoyed the recap. If you guys did, hit that thumbs up button. If you're a new viewer, hit that subscribe button for me. We're almost at 600 subscribers. I can't believe it. 600. It's crazy. Get involved in the Discord. The Discord is growing. It's awesome. Sign up for Trade Journal for free. Link will be in the description. Discord link will also be in the description. Trade Journal, yeah, you can sign up for this for free. Free analytics. Don't need to sign up for no Trader View or Trader Sync and pay $30 a month. And if you get the free version, there's like only 20 trades that you can upload every month. Trade Journal, we do not do that. It's unlimited trades for free. Sign up today. Link will be in the description. And then come back tomorrow for the pre-market pump at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I will see you guys there. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Get some rest and make sure you study. Peace.